Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Podcast, the Daily Attorney Podcast. I'm your host, Marie Eve Nadine Jean Baptiste. I am the owner and CEO of the St. Eve Law Firm located in Towson, Maryland. Today, I'm really excited. We have Miss V. Ava Murray Esquire with us. Um, she is, like myself, a practicing attorney, but she is based out of New Jersey. So she's in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And Ms. Murray graduated from Nova Southeastern University College of Law in 2017. During law school, she was a member of PULSE, which is the Health Law Student Society. And we have to talk about that because I think that that's very, very interesting. During law school, she worked full-time with an insurance company, with an insurance defense firm. She assisted different attorneys with many, many different various practice areas, including personal injury, product liability, workers' comp, and first-party property insurance defense. After passing the bar exam, she did start her career in Cherry Hill as an associate working for a medical malpractice division. She defended nursing homes, medical professionals, and in July 2020, like a crazy person, she decided, let me open up my own law firm in the middle of a pandemic. Okay. That's insane, right? That's insane. I just have to kind of start with that, though. Let's start with that, right? Because I'm just trying to figure out, like, what was going through your mind? Like, what did you think? You said, okay, the world has shut down. Let me open up my own law firm. What happened?
No, I'll tell you what I said. I said I was so unhappy and so utterly depressed with living my life in 0.06 increments. Because when you work for an insurance defense firm, you have to do billable hours. And you literally spend your entire day, even on the weekends, trying to come up with things to do on a file so you can meet your billable hour requirements for the week, for the month, for the year. And I'm of the idea, my idea about life is you live a life and you work to be happy, not to be miserable. I mean, I was miserable every day. Like I didn't want to wake up because I didn't want to go to work. I would find every excuse in the book to not go to work. So, it's like I was miserable. So I woke up one day and I said, you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb because I want to be happy. And I'm going to see what will happen if I believe in myself and I jump on, the actual opportunity, which is so crazy because yes, the world was shut down, but I felt like it was an opportunity for me to grow. So I resigned in early July of 2020, and I took like 2 weeks off. I got myself together, decided what practice area that I wanted to start in, and I did it. I did it. I saved up a couple of thousands of dollars before I did it though, but I did it. I wanted to be
Well,
happy.
that's good. And kudos to you, I'm telling you, because unfortunately, there are many attorneys who their doors actually closed
Yeah.
during the pandemic. And then there are other attorneys like myself who kind of just saw this huge boom, right? Because
Yeah.
one of my former areas of practice is family law. I'm no longer doing that anymore because, like you, I'm not happy,
Yeah.
right? I'm not happy when people are fighting. I'm not happy when someone is using their kid as a pawn to get something, right? I don't like stuff like that.
Family law is when you meet people when they are at their worst.
Literally,
So
yeah.
sad. So
Because
sad.
emotionally, and we're both human and we've done this, right? Emotionally, you're not thinking,
Yeah.
so we're acting on emotions, right? And I've been very, very, grateful and blessed to have the experiences that I have. But like you get to a point where you're like, am I really serving my clients the best if I am not my best self?
Exactly.
Because you're miserable and you're going to snap at clients over little things that you ordinarily wouldn't do, right? So, let's talk about the irony of that. You're meeting people at their worst, and now you're kind of becoming your worst. right?
Exactly.
Isn't that ironic?
And it is. And then it's like, you want to always give your best self, right? Especially as an attorney, you want to wake up and say, okay, let me draft this motion, this complaint, this pleading, this whatever, and put my best foot forward. And if you're unhappy, there's no way you can do that.
No,
It's impossible.
You have no energy.
Mm-hmm.
You literally have no energy to do it. You just, you sit here and, we joke about it in some of our Facebook groups. We know when we need a vacation, when you come into the office and you just stare at the work. Isn't that bizarre?
I stare out the window.
Out the window, you're literally just sitting here like, oh, look at the pretty trees. It's like, oh, I have work to do. But conceptually, you are just so tired that you're looking for anything to get a break. I listen to a lot of like personal development, motivational stuff. And Mel Robbins, if you ever have some time, look her up. She is awesome. Okay. And she, one of her speeches that changed my life was how to get what you want, right? And she goes on to talk about, how we stand in our own way, yada, yada, yada. But one of her speeches recently, she talked about motivation being garbage because you're never going to feel like it, right? No one feels like waking up at 4 a.m. to go on that run. No one feels like, eating that salad, right? We just don't. We just don't, right? But at the end of the day, we have to tell ourselves, listen, in order to get X, Y, and Z, we have to do ABC, right?
And that's why vision boards are so important.
Yes.
Like I literally put a picture of my old body on my vision board.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like this is why you're going to the gym at 7 p.m. after work, is because you want to look like this again. There's important.
Well, maybe Facebook has that idea too, because I don't know about you, but when I get on Facebook, it's like, remember this body you had 6 years ago? I'm like, no, just shut it down, Facebook. I don't want to see it, right? And I just, my producer is backstage laughing. She's dying right now. But it's true, right? You think to yourself, you're like, okay, I want to get to Z, but I know I have to kind of put one foot in front of the other and do X, Y, and Z. And you legitimately did it, and you did it during a pandemic. But let's talk about the pandemic and how it was a time of stillness for us, right? And it's crazy. And please explain to me like what you were thinking when everything happened on March 15th, 2020. But like everything stopped. Like phone stopped ringing, email stopped coming, phone, like everything.
And it was like, so, like I said, I resigned and then I took a couple weeks off. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so I have this amount of money saved up. It can last me for 4.5, 5 months tops, right? So if things don't work out in 4.5, 5 months, then I'll just apply for another associate position. And I was like, oh God, I hope that does not happen. So, all the courts were scrambling because I started with criminal defense, right? So obviously there's certain rights that a criminal defendant has that is constitutional. And just because we're in a pandemic doesn't mean that you can just throw those rights underneath a carpet, right? So the courts were scrambling trying to figure out the best way to make sure speedy trial rights aren't violated, that defendants who were recently incarcerated don't miss their detention hearings or their first appearance hearings. So, and I'm going to say this, and when I tell people this, they look at me like I'm crazy. I was so thankful for the pandemic, because going from doing a medical malpractice and insurance defense and also I was also defending insurance company for car accidents and slip and falls. Going from that to being in a criminal court, it's different. Mm-hmm. So I literally had to learn all over again how to present myself in court. The decorum is so different. So mm-hmm. Thank God for the pandemic and Zoom. I was able to watch other attorneys whose case was in front of mine, how to present emotion, how to, respond properly to certain things. And I was like, oh my goodness. I'm so grateful for the pandemic because yes, everything was still, but it was a great opportunity for me to jump out and go out on my own. Um, so where was I leading? Where was I going with that?
Well, you definitely answered the question. We were talking
Okay,
about the
good.
stillness, right?
Okay, good.
But
Okay.
you're actually not the first person to tell me that they're thankful that the pandemic happened because it allowed them to kind of see how they were just going and never taking time to kind of relax, and they were kind of headed for a cliff,
Wow.
right? Yeah, I know a lot of people that were like, okay, I was headed for a cliff because I was burnt out, but I kept going anyway, which is
Yeah,
never good,
it's
right?
horrible.
Yeah, it's never good. And I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I think, being an attorney, we have that type A personality where it's like, oh no, I gotta get it done. I gotta get it done. And I'm the only person that can do it because I do it perfectly. It's like,
Yeah,
no, you can teach someone to do it the same way you do it, right?
I have an issue
Um,
delegating. That's my biggest issue.
oh gosh, yes. I don't think I've met an attorney yet that said otherwise, right? So you're definitely a good company. But when you talk about, in your earlier part of the broadcast, you talked about billable hours. I get it. I don't like billable hours either because I feel like um, I don't like giving my clients that uncertainty.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, I realize that there are cases where you just can't do flat fees. I tried flat fees in family law. I bombed terribly. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, there's certain areas of law that obviously billable hours are fine, but
yeah.
it's completely different when you because insurance defense is technically corporate law, right? Because your client is an organization, it's an insurance company, a multi-billion-dollar insurance company. So you're answering to these adjusters, but the client is the insurance company, right? So it's completely different as opposed to you doing family law and you're billing for what you've done and then your client pays you. That's not how it is with insurance defense. You bill and then the insurance adjuster or whoever auditor in the insurance company looks at your invoice and goes no, and like they're not paying your law firm for all the things that you billed for, right? And then it comes back on you. You
Mhm,
have to appeal it. Me as the attorney, not the law firm. Me,
mhm.
I have to literally sit there and remember all the things I did 3 months ago and why the insurance company has to pay this bill. Have to write up a reason. Like it was a nightmare. And then so if those hours were taken out, then I'm short my billable hours for the month, for the year. And then it's like, at the end of the year review, it's like, well, you didn't meet your billable hours. The most unreasonable billable hours, by the way. And it was just horrible.
Yeah, I would not
Yeah.
want to do that.
Yeah.
I've heard that. I actually had a friend call me the other day. We were having a conversation. She actually works for corporate America. She works for KPMG,
Oh,
um, major
yeah.
corporation,
Totally.
right? And she's an attorney there. She's a tax attorney there, and she's miserable. And I told her, I said, listen, I mean, this is your second major corporation. From what I understand, they're all the same.
They are.
So you can make the decision to stay or you can make the decision to go. But ultimately, the corporation structure, how it works, and everything in it, it's not going to change.
It's the same.
So I hear that a lot, and it's quite sad. But they're Goliaths. They're huge.
They are.
You know,
And the salary's nice. The
it
salary,
is.
but the way I live my life is like I feel to me money is not a top priority. Of course, I want to be a millionaire one day, but my top priority is my mental health and my happiness. So if I can have a business where my mental health is intact and I'm happy and I make good money, then I'm happy. That's why I started my firm because I am very happy.
Good. So let's talk about the law firm. So we totally segued off topic, but I'm okay with that. So why did you decide to become an attorney in the first place? Like, what led you there?
I can tell you this is a story. I was 7 years old. I'll
Oh
remember
gosh.
7 years old. And my dad used to always ask us occasionally, what do you want to be when you grow up? We were like 7. Now, in retrospect, you're like, what the hell was he doing asking a 7-year old what you want to be? But my answer from I was 7 was, I want to be, I think I used to say a lawyer. I want to be a
Mm,
lawyer. I want to be a lawyer. And then as time went on, I realized, I was like, really, I really want to be a lawyer. Like in middle school and high school. Like in middle school, I was in the gifted program, and there were programs that geared towards um, being an attorney. It was like
Mhm.
you be a part of the debate team and all that stuff. And then you go to middle school, and there's the same thing, the gifted program, and you were able to take classes that kind of helped you with
Mhm.
moving on to being an attorney. So I wanted to be a lawyer since I was 7. Why did I want to be a lawyer?
Did you want to argue and fight?
So my little 7-year-old mind, I thought that I can help save the world.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a good
right
one.
right the wrongs. Yeah.
Until you grow up and you
Grow
realize that
up,
there's
and
a
then
lot of lobbying.
yeah, that bubble gets popped, and you're like, oh my goodness, like I can't even get through all the yellow tape, get to the red tape.
Mm,
It's like, yeah. So I wanted to be a lawyer since I was 7. That was a long time.
that is a long,
Long
wow. But
time.
at least you knew what you wanted to do. I always joke with my mom, who's most likely watching right now, but I did not take that very clear path. It was, um, what did I do in high school? It was architectural drafting.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I have a background in that. I actually did really, really well. I have an endorsed high school diploma. So I actually have 2 high school diplomas. Yeah. So did that and then went to college. And I was like, okay, I'll do architecture. Why not? Um, yeah, that didn't work out. I mastered in partying. That's what I mastered in. Yeah, yeah. And second year of college, it was like, okay, well, tired of partying in Brooklyn, and let me go party in Rhode Island of all places, right? And just did that and kind of just kept partying for a while, and then came back home, and I was like, huh, okay, guess I'll take this seriously now. My parents were just like, you are a special kid, So I always joke and I say I took the scenic route
I
through,
right.
yeah, through all that. I am, and like you and like most attorneys, we love learning, right?
Yeah.
And we care about what we do and how we do it. So I know that, during law school, you were a member of Pulse, which is a health law society, health law student society. So why did you decide that area of law in school?
So most of my immediate family, they're in the medical field.
Oh,
My dad has been a nurse since I can remember 7 years old. I remember dad putting on his white scrubs.
mhm,
Um, my older sister is a nurse practitioner. She's been a nurse for, oh my God, like 19 years.
mhm,
My mom's in the nursing field. My aunts are in the nursing field. So growing up, I learned a lot about the medical field. My dad always had like these medical journals and books and stuff laying around, and so I learned a lot about medicine, and I love it. I always say I wish I could go back and become a doctor.
doctor. Yeah, yeah.
I love the medical field, so I figured why not do the 2 things I love, law and medicine. So that's why I decided to become a part of that program. The unfortunate thing, I think I was like 4 credits shy of getting that little designation on my JD, because you were able to, once you completed all the requisite courses, you were able to get like a little designation on your Juris Doctorate degree. But I was 4 credits shy, so it's kind of bummy. But I still used what I learned to, get my first job being an insurance defense, doing
Med
defendant
mal.
med mal. Yeah. So
Mhm. So with how much of your practice I guess I wonder intersects with, you actually have to, review like medical journals and things like that. Because I know that that's a very important part of, health law.
yeah. So when I told you before that I started out my own practice with criminal defense. I'm actually getting away from that now. I'm now focused on personal injury and real estate. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay. So you definitely pivoted a bit.
I did. I went
Oh,
back to what I love. I love dealing with medical field and obviously personal injury. You have to review medical records, and sometimes you have to help out the experts that you retain. And because you know a little bit about medicine, you can also, give your clients your personal opinion of treatment. And obviously, the caveat is always talk to your doctor, but based on my experience, X, Y, and Z, my experience and my knowledge, X, Y, and Z. But I always tell them to definitely talk to their doctors
mm.
about the advice that I've given them. So that's been very helpful.
Oh, that's amazing. So what kind of personal injury do you focus on?
Car accident, slip and fall. I haven't started medical malpractice yet.
Okay, that's a tough area.
I was about to say that it's a very tough area, and then I would also definitely need staff because now I'm literally the definition of a solo practitioner. I have no one else in my office; it's just me. So I figure once I get my first medical malpractice case, then I'll hire staff too because that's a difficult area.
So when your clients call you, they're getting you.
They call me, text me, it's me. No,
Okay. Okay.
and that's
Now,
also one of my selling points. People love that.
they
So,
do. They do. They want to work with you. But the key is also to hire and work with people that are just as friendly and as personable as you are, right? I have people that I work with. I am no longer a true solo. And we all work well together. We we literally, shoot the breeze, make jokes, act a fool. No one is taking this super seriously because life is just too short. But when it's time to work, we work and they get it done. They're always waiting on me because I'm, putting out 14 fires. So that's one thing. I actually have to find someone else to take some of this off my plate. One of the things that you will see, and I mean, I know, your firm is in your second year, but shortly after the second year was over, that's when it was like, okay, this is too much. I have to have someone.
yeah.
So you might want to start planning
I
soon.
I did hire a paralegal, but she went to
Good.
school, so then she left me.
Okay.
So I and it was so crazy because I used to tell her like every day, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm letting you do this." Because I
You
have a
don't want
hard
to let it go.
time. No, I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm gonna have you draft a motion." Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. You literally want to do everything. But I find that sometimes like we work best when, someone kind of starts and then we take over and we're just, then the juices kind of flow. So I guess my next question for you is why do you do like what you do? Like, what do you have like a personal connection with, personal injury or health law? I know you mentioned your family, is connected to health, to the healthcare field. So why do you do what you do?
It's gonna sound so cliche, but I really thoroughly enjoy helping people. I really do.
Mhm.
And most of the cases I have right now is just like, oh my goodness, these people's lives are totally changed forever. And I want to make sure that they are all compensated for their injuries. And it's like, especially if you don't do anything, right? So you're a completely innocent party. I want to help you. I want to make sure I get the compensation you deserve. Gosh, I sound like a salesperson,
You
but that's
definitely did. You
but
sound like a commercial. I'm just joking. You sound fine. No, you.
but it's
But we.
like the honest truth. It's like, you have someone who might not be able to play with their newborn child who ever because they've been so significantly injured. Like, I want to make sure that I help them the best way I can to try to get them as whole as I can possibly get them.
How often are you like in court at trial?
Oh gosh. I literally sometimes go to court every single day.
Oh.
Last week I was in court twice a day, every day. I was in court in the morning, then I would get like a 3-hour break, and then I'm in court like in the evening. I'm talking about 5 p.m. court.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why is this my life? No, I love it.
Yeah. Well, when you're doing, criminal, criminal is just not one of those areas I can do. Emotionally, I can't. If I can't do family law, I definitely can't do criminal.
It's tough.
Yeah.
My clients have seen me cry, like, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is so unprofessional.
I know. And I'm a crier already. Like I cry at the drop of a dime. So it's just, I knew a long time ago it wasn't a good field for me. So why are you deciding, why did you decide to kind of pair the PI with the criminal, which is actually really good pair, I think.
Yeah.
Are you going to remove the criminal all the way, or?
Eventually, I'm going to remove criminal all the
Okay.
way. And I'll tell you why. So when I first started my firm, I was actually more focused on post-conviction relief matters, which, as you can imagine, is a lot of work. Why did I decide to do post-conviction relief? That 7-year-old me again. I want to save the world. I want to right all the wrongs. It's a lot of work reviewing hundreds and hundreds of pages of transcripts, reviewing, videos and recorded statements. It's a lot of work. And it's just, honestly, it became too much.
Yeah, it's a huge area.
It is. And again, I'm a sole practitioner. So it's like I really was taking work home and working on the weekends, and it just became too much. And then when I kind of like, segued from doing post-conviction relief PCR work, and I started taking on, new cases, new criminal cases. I'm not gonna say I don't enjoy it. I really love it. I think I'm really good at my job. It's just really like personal reasons why I decided to move away from it.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of work. I think, if you had an associate or someone else that can kind of take it on,
Yeah.
it'd be a little less daunting on you, because you seem like you take some of the cases personal, like I would, right? Because some of the cases that we get, even in family cases, it's so difficult to remain impartial. It just is,
Can I
right? Because
tell you, Marie? So I think that's when I do my best job, is when I take it personal. I'll give you an example. I had a case with a juvenile attempted murder and a slew of other charges, just like ridiculous, superfluous like charges. And the case was actually dismissed. And it was because I took that case personal why I found the evidence to exonerate my client. If I don't take it personal, then I don't think I would get the results that I get. So
I love it. Oh gosh, I love that spin on it. You've given me a little bit of food for thought. Um, so, what kind of impact do you hope to have on your clients and your community?
I would hope that when they think of me, when they're having Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, and they look back at the results I've achieved for them, they smile
Mhm.
and they're thankful. That's it.
I love that. It's why we do what we do, right? It's to get our clients from being in the worst parts of their lives to just being able to turn that page,
Yes.
right? Because getting stuck, and sometimes in certain areas of law, you tend to get stuck in that one chapter,
Mm-hmm.
for a good year or 2 years of your life,
Yeah.
And I tell my clients, when they'll call, they're like, Marie, I'm just so sick. Like, I get it,
Yeah.
air it out, right? But I'm trying to get you to that next chapter, right? And
Yep.
we can't get there if you hold on, to the pain and the anger and the guilt and all that stuff. You got to release it and let it go.
You have to. And you
Yeah.
have to think, instead of thinking with your emotions, you have to think logically, right? And rationally, like, is this the best decision? What I'm doing the best decision? Taking your emotions out of it. And I know it's hard for a lot of folks, but
Mhm.
that's why they hire competent counsel, so we can, you know, put their attention on the right things.
Yes, definitely. I do that, I've had some pro bono cases that are I do a lot of pro bono work, and I've had some pro bono cases that have just been so memorable. And I hear you when you say, some of your best work is with the emotions.
Yeah.
And I can think of all of the ones that are memorable. I've taken all of them personally. Every single one. So I definitely get that. Does New Jersey have a pro bono requirement? I know Maryland doesn't.
I actually am a part of two organizations where I do pro bono work. It's Lawyers for, I can never remember the name. It's Lawyers for Justice, I think.
Okay.
And then there's another one. Oh gosh, can't remember the name, but I try to do at least one or two pro bono cases every other month.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't been getting any emails for pro bono cases recently. I don't know why, but
that's a very healthy, I think that's a very healthy balance.
Yeah.
When I first started, all I did was take pro bono cases because no one knew I existed.
Right. It's so, for that purpose, it's helpful. And also it helps you learn, right? Because I take pro bono cases. I took a lot of criminal defense pro bono cases.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you learn. They have resources for you to ask questions. Mm-hmm. So you're learning. You have kind of a mentor, and you're helping society.
Mm-hmm.
So a win-win-win situation.
It definitely is. I still do pro bono. I'm actually a board member of the Harford County Bar Foundation. We operate out of Harford County and Cecil County in the state of Maryland, and I work with the Maryland Volunteer Lawyer Service. So I do clinics for both organizations. I don't know if New Jersey has expungement clinics. So that's kind of they do. Okay, that's the extent of the criminal stuff that I do. I'm huge on second chances. I've been granted 1 million second chances in my life. And so the expungement work that we do is kind of my way to just give back and help other people, because I feel like, especially with the whole mass incarceration situations that we've had for, decades, I feel like a lot of these individuals, they got a bad deal, and unfortunately they are where they are now. But our state is doing such a wonderful job in kind of helping these people move forward. And so my small part in it is, just doing the expungements. But with that said, Ava, thank you so very much. I know you have to pick up your munchkin. My munchkin is at home. We had a very colorful morning this morning, so he didn't go to school. He thought it was a good idea to cut his own hair with scissors.
Oh gosh, my is actually a senior in high school.
Oh, so mine is 14.
Not a munchkin anymore, but
I know. I call them munchkins though.
You know what? You're right. They'll forever be our munchkins.
They're our babies.
He prefers to be addressed as a young man.
Yeah. Well, mine was a young man when he was like 9. I tell everyone he's 14 going on 40. But I know you have to go, and thank you so much. I know I kept you a little over time, but thank you again. Everyone tuning in, thank you again. My name is Marie Eve, Nadine Jean Baptiste. You are now, I'm sorry, Camille, I completely forgot. Ava, where can your clients get a hold of you? I do apologize.
So like I said before, my clients can have access to my business phone. It's
okay.
09-605-2955. It's me that answers, me that responds to text messages, or on my website, murraylwgrp.com, or my Instagram, which is Murray. What is my Instagram?
We got it up. Camille, gotcha. Yes.
I appreciate it. So those are, and I respond to DMs. I respond to emails. I respond to text messages. It's me.
Okay. I'm sorry. See, these are the things that we can't do. I'm not good at this. She told me, she said, make sure you get all of the social media stuff. And to let everyone know that we have our social media. We are on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we are on Twitter. I think we even have a Pinterest. So if anybody wants to follow us, Please visit any one of those social media channels to follow both Ava and I. We have a lot of good things that we do for ourselves, our families, and our communities. Ava, again, thank you so much for being here with me today. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I'm your host, Marie Eve.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Take care. Bye-bye.